In this video, I will be explaining how to create various levels of difficulty for your target practice game. There are various ways to go about configuring the difficulty of your game. If, for instance, you prompted the user to select a visual theme, you will be unable to use the answer sensing block twice, that is to say, for two different purposes. In this video, the assumption is that you are not including a theme. However, you are strongly encouraged to do that, as per the requirements for the third challenge, you must include some individual component not directly addressed in the lesson. You've seen some of this code already, but here specifically you'll see how the wait time between various successive targets is determined by the user's answer to the question regarding difficulty. If their answer was selecting the hard level, they will wait, or they will experience a 1 second time gap between each target. If they selected the easy version, there will be a 2 second wait between targets. And that is done through the use of control blocks, essentially conditional statements, that will compare the user's answer to the word hard, and then ensure that the time between the appearance of successive targets is of the appropriate duration. Regarding the size of the targets, you'll see here how a forever block is used along with two if statements to change the size of the target as the user's score increases. So if the user's score reaches 50, the target will shrink by a value of 10, and of course you can change this value. And once the score reaches 100, the size will again decrease. This is just one way to increase the responsiveness of your game to the user's performance. Over here, you'll see how once the backdrop switches from, as I called it, the instructional phase of the game, the answer to the difficulty selection carries over, and the size of the target will be initially configured to either 35% of its original size or 75%. If the user selected the easy version, the size of the target will be 75% of its initial size as determined when you design the sprite yourself. You can include a medium difficulty option if you wish, in which case you would have to use two if statements, and an if-else block would not suffice, as there would be more than two possible difficulty options. To conclude, I will mention that there exists another, more simple way to go about increasing the difficulty as the user's score increases. If you used an operator block for division and check to see if the remainder of the user's score divided by 50 equaled 0, you could increase the difficulty by decreasing the size of the sprite at 50-point increments. As for one final reminder, you are expected to incorporate an additional distraction or increase in difficulty, or option for an increase in difficulty in your game to successfully pass Challenge 3. One suggestion is to increase the frequency of distractions in your game at certain score increments. This was discussed in Lesson 5 as to how you would incorporate these distractions, and using a method similar to the one shown in this video for changing the frequency of the appearance of targets and the size at certain score increments, you could likewise increase the frequency of those distractions. By now, you should have a successfully working target practice game that is nearly completed. Carefully read the challenge requirements for Challenge 3 to ensure that you have met all of the criteria.